Hi everyone, welcome to a new lesson. Now, let's create the first animation for our character, but actually it's not the first animation per se, but we have to animate the eyes and the eyebrows, and that animation will be present on all the other animations of the character that we're going to make. So we have to start with this, and this will give a lot of personality to our character. I want to create an animation where he blinks, which because of course everyone blinks, so he will blink and move the eyebrows up and down. So it will look really nice, and we need to create that. So open your character composition. Now, for now, we don't need to move all the controllers or anything. We're just going to move the eyebrows and the eyes. So let me zoom in a little here, and now I want these eyes to blink every 2 seconds because I don't want it to be too blinky. I don't want I don't want this character to blink too far in between. I want this to be 2 seconds because I think that is the proper time to do it. So I'm going to take the eyes layer. If you want, you can make it a different color so that you can see it, and the eyebrows can be this aqua color. As you can see, I love playing with these colors because that way I can keep everything neat and organized, and that's very important, especially when you have this crazy amount of layers. You can see all the layers that we have 28 layers, and I have worked with animation that have a lot of more layers, so it's nice to add some color to it. So we have the eyes and the eyebrows. Now open your opacity settings on the eyes. To open the opacity, you just have to press the T key on your keyboard. Press T, and now we have the opacity settings. Now let me zoom in a little here, and now to make a character blink, it's really easy. We just need to create some opacity, some keyframes with opacity, where the opacity is on 100, and then on 0%, and then on 100 again, so that we see the eyes, they disappear, and they are again. So we need to click here to create a keyframe for the eyes. Now let's advance. Let's see, for now it can be 10 frames here. We can fix that later. And on the next 10 frames, we are going to change this to 0%. Now you can see that they disappear. Now on the 10 frames later, you can see that I was on 2 seconds. Now 10 frames, now 20 frames. I'm going to again set this to 100%, so he will blink like this. Of course, this will happen so fast that it will look like he's blinking. So let's see how this looks. Let me set this to third so that it goes faster, or half. Let's see how this looks. Okay, so you can see that now it's too slow because it looks like the eyes are fading away. So that means that we need to put this together a little closer. Now instead of 10 frames, let's go to 5 frames, and this one, let's move it to 5 frames later. Now let's see how this works out. Let's wait for it to render. Okay. I still think that this is too slow. I think there should be less frames between these frames, between these keyframes. So let's get closer, and instead of 5 frames, let's set it to, can be 3 frames. So just zoom in on the timeline, and We need to move here to the third frame and then to the sixth frame. So in the end, we have 3 keyframes separated by 3 frames each. So let's see how this works. Okay, this is perfect. Now he is looking like he's actually blinking. Because if I move this closer to maybe 1 frame, it will be too quick, so it will look really weird. Right now this is perfect. Okay, so every 2 seconds this will happen. So of course I have to loop this every 2 seconds, but first I want to animate the eyebrows so that we can later copy all the frames and just start copying them every 2 seconds. So let me open now the position settings for the eyebrows. Now let's zoom in. And we're going to create a keyframe here with this position. Now on the same place as the second frame of the eyes, I'm going to move this up, and then here I'm going to copy this same position here, so he will move like this. So when he blinks, he moves his eyebrows too. If we want this to be a little smoother, we can grab all these keyframes and click on Easy Ease, so it will have a little more smoothness. For the eyes, we don't need to make them easy ease because we are working with opacity. So you can see that this looks really funny. And that's exactly what we're after. But right now, these eyebrows are moving along with the eyes. When the eyes disappear, the eyebrows move. So I wanted it to be a little delayed. So I'm going to move all these keyframes and they will start right when the eyes disappear entirely. So this will give us a better animation. Let's press play. And you can see that now the eyes blink, and when the eyes blink, the eyebrows move. So I think it looks better this way. It looks funnier. Yeah, I like this. So now I'm going to zoom out here, and I'm going to take these keyframes and I'm going to place them every 2 seconds. I can create a loop, as I told you before on the course. I can create a loop, but I would need to create some new compositions, and I think this is not necessary for something as simple as this eyes animation. So I'm just going to take these keyframes, and if they start from the second 2, now this will start from second 4, and then on the 6th second, and then on the 8th second, and then on the 10th second, and finally on the second 12, because all the animation that we're going to work with are going to last like 8 or 10 seconds, so I think this is enough. So here, if we take a look at it, he will blink every 2 seconds. Okay, now I have to repeat the same with the eyebrows. So take these keyframes and place yourself the timeline here on the second keyframe of the eyes of every loop of the eye, and just paste your keyframes here. And this will have the same 2 second separation. So now if we hit play, we will have the eyes animation every 2 seconds. 1, 2, 3, and so on. So I'm going to cut this animation on second 14 because I don't think we will need more time like as that. So now we can create the first actual animation of the arms and moving on the legs, because we are now set with the character eyes moving. So everything is ready. So let's go to the next lesson.